Alright, this is going to be a hot and heavy video showing how we're going to get cameras off of your chip, out of your camera and into my hands so that I can do the final adjustments to the pictures and get them loaded into the auction system. So the first thing we're going to do is take the chip out of your camera and go ahead and slip it into your computer. 98.5% of all computers will automatically open up a window showing the folders on your chip just by sliding it into the computer. All cameras save pictures in a DCIM folder, so I'm going to double click on that, and I have my camera set so that the pictures from any given day are going to be saved into a common folder. I always keep a backup copy of all pictures that I'm taking on a particular auction, and that could be as many as say 10 or 12, because I might have to work on a big auction taking pictures 10 or 12 days in a row. But I've already moved my old pictures from this particular auction into that particular folder, which I created. That's not automatically going to be there. But the pictures I'll work with today, my camera created this folder right here, so I'm going to double click on it and we can see the activity from that particular day. And since you will always be working with thumbnails, you can now see why it's so important that you take a really tight close-up of each lot number sticker before you start taking pictures of that lot. So you can see this is lot 1204. And then pictures of that TV, which will not bring big money because it's not a flat screen. And then here is where lot 1205 starts, and so on. I want to mention that in Windows, in Windows 10, which everybody's going to have here very shortly, so let's just assume that you're already on it, you can click on this view button at the top of the folder view and click on extra large icons, or you can click on different ways of looking at those picture files. My computer automatically gives me a list, and so one of the first things that I usually have to do is jump up to at least large icons so that I can see what pictures I'll be working with. So anyway, remember, this window here represents what is on the disk. I've got to get it onto my computer where I can work with it. And it's very important that you move files, picture files, to a place that you can find it. Okay, I have all kinds of folders and whatnot set up on my desktop, but I want to go ahead and go into my local auction folder and then LW Benton, and I had set up just for this demonstration a test auction folder, and I created a photos folder. So I want to double click on that, and right now you can see that that folder is empty. So I will drag this over, and then I'm going to bring back up the folder which was where the pictures I'll work with are saved on the F drive, which is that disk that I just pulled out of my camera. Now, depending on how your computer's set up, it may have a different letter up here, but it definitely will not be C, because C would be the drive on your computer. So anyway, the first thing I will do is I'm going to tap on or click on this first picture, and I'm going to select every picture that's in this folder. Now, the two ways that you can do that are to hold down the shift key and then move your arrow keys around, and you can see how those are becoming highlighted. What I like to do though is hold down the control button and hit A for control all or select all. Now that I have all of the pictures in this folder highlighted, as you can see, I'm going to drag and drop these photos over to this folder that I had created on my computer. And I'm going to let go of it, and it is going to copy those 192 pictures from my chip to my computer in a place where I know I can find them. Alright, now that that's been done, I'm going to go ahead and reserve these to this old folder to get them out of the way so it won't be confusing when I use this chip next. You don't have to do that. I like to do that. It makes things more clear. I'm going to drag this window over, make it bigger. Windows 10, so I'm going to go to View, I want to bring it back to large icons. Just make sure that they're all over there, and they are. Alright, I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to go ahead and open up photoscape. Now, where I have photoscape saved on my computer, where I can find it easily, is in this photo folder on my desktop. I'll double click on that, and I, in this case, have photoscape set as the third option in that folder. I'll double click on photoscape, and this is the first page that you will see in that program. Now, I'm going to try to address all of those pictures as a batch first. Okay, I'm going to click on Batch Editor, and you'll see this screen right here. I'm going to make that left side a little bit smaller. Now I've got to go back and find those pictures that I just saved, and this again is a representation of the hard drive on my computer, and I was in auction, L.W. Benton, and I created this test auction. So I'll click on that. I'll double click on that. Don't know why it's sticking, so I'll hit the plus button, which expands that folder. Now I'm going to click on Photos, and this is where I saved the day's pictures. Now I'm going to do a similar thing to what I had done before, and that is I'm going to select this first picture in this window down here. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control A again just to select all those, and remember, you can use your Shift key and the arrow keys if you like. Now that I have all those pictures selected, I'm going to normal click and drag them up to this top window. Alright, now they are up in this window where I can work with them as a group in Photoscape. And you'll see if you select different files up here, you see the actual picture down in this window below. Now, what we're going to do is crush and do some adjusting to all these pictures as a single batch. See what we have over here. We have 3 tabs. Object you'll never pay attention to. Filter and Home you will. The first thing that we got to do to make the picture small enough to deal with is on the Home key. I generally do not add a frame because it makes the picture files larger than they need to be, and a small compact picture file size is important to get the auction to run faster. But in this window, this drop down box right here under resize, we're going to pick reduce the longer length. And the first time you use Photoscape, that will not automatically be set, but it will be after you've used it. Now you'll notice that the short side is blocked out where you can't have anything in it. In the long side, I'm going to put in 640, and yours the first time you use it will not, that's not the number that it's going to be in there. So you're going to push in 640 by selecting that box, adding 640. The default interpolation is going to be bicubic. Leave that alone. I do use bicubic. Okay. Now that we've done those things, I'm going to go to Filter, and this is a list of effects that will happen to every single picture in that batch. Now my camera I have set up, I know how to use it well, I know how to get the lighting correct, all those kinds of things, and so the only thing that I'm doing to my pictures currently is I just sharpen them a little bit. So in the sharpen drop box, I'll pick +2 just to get a little bit of sharpening. And don't sharpen the pictures too much, because once they get crunched, and then once we get them into sand, if you sharpen them too much, it really begins to look like a cartoon. The pictures break down pretty badly. So don't sharpen too much on any camera. +2, +3 should be plenty. Frankly, we could get away with most cameras if you don't sharpen at all. If you have a camera that does not meter well and your pictures are all dark, then you might want to brighten all of the pictures as they come out of the camera, or some of these other features. But anyway, you'll just have to sort of look through them, see what you think, adjust as you feel like you need to, if you think all your pictures are going to need it. So anyway, with this camera and this setup, I'm just going to go for +2 on sharpening. Again, back on the home tab, 640, reduce the longer length, bicubic, no frame. Alright, we're going to convert all these pictures now. When this window pops up, when you convert all pictures, leave this marked, and it should be marked already. Create your output folder under the first changed photo, which in this case is that particular folder right there. Alright. Image format. Leave it in the original format. Make sure that that's JPEG. You'd have to have a really good camera and a camera. You would have to be going out of your way to make it a non-JPEG file coming out of your camera. Please don't shoot in RAW. Please don't shoot in TIFF. Most cameras stock, especially on automatic settings, are going to create a JPEG file, and that's the way you want it, JPEG. JPEG quality. This could be anywhere when you first open this up. 90% is where we've learned to settle. Now, this is very important for our auction bidding system. I believe when you first start using photoscape, maintain the EXIF information and preserve file date and possibly even DPI are all marked. Unmark these boxes. I'm not going to give you the technical reason, but at the end of the day, half of your pictures are going to end up being on their side in the bidding platform or in the auction on the website if you do not uncheck these. So if these are checked, uncheck them. After you've done this one time, it should default to these settings the next go round. You won't have to worry about it, but just make sure that those are unchecked or this whole process will have to be done again. Alright, so this was left in its original position. Saves the same file name. That's the original position. Original format. That's the original position. JPEG quality 90%. You may have to change that. Uncheck these boxes. Now save. And this is only 192 pictures. Usually when I do this in a day, I'll take more like 1,000 pictures, and it takes a very, very long time. This is going to take longer than I would like, apparently. But we've got to let it run all the way through until it's finished with all of that compression. And basically what it's doing is creating new, much smaller files that our SAM bidding system can handle. And we wait. If you have a super powerful computer, this will go faster. This is a very mediocre, about 3 or 4 year old laptop. So this is probably about as slow as you would ever see this process go. Almost there. Alright, when it's done, you'll get this window and a noise. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to minimize this just to show you what has happened. Now I'm going to go down and search for the folder where those pictures were on my computer. I'll select that, and if I jump up to the top of this, you're going to see output. Now output is where we want to be working from here on out. So I'm going to double click on output, and these are the new crushed files. Alright, my next step, I want to make these, again, I want to go up and hit view and extra large icons so that I can see bigger icons. And some cameras have mercury switches in them, and when you take a picture on its side, it knows it and it gives you the correct orientation. Other cameras do not have a mercury switch, and they do not do that. So the next step, and this is in the output folder, this is the smaller pictures. We're going to quickly pass through these and make sure that all the pictures are upright. Now see, here's a key example of what I'm talking about. My camera does have a mercury switch, and it's a good one, so it automatically put this picture in portrait orientation. But sometimes when you're taking a picture from directly beneath something or directly over something, that mercury switch won't work. Here's an example where I was directly over something and it didn't work. But this is a lot number, and you'll see why in a minute, that it doesn't matter with a lot number because that's not going to end up online. So anyway, we'll scoot down here. Oh, there's a blown picture. I tell you what, when you see a completely blown picture that you forgot to erase when you were actually taking the pictures, all you have to do is, instead of normal clicking, I'm going to right click on this picture. I'm going to get a drop down list. This is all in Windows, by the way. I'm just going to hit delete. It'll ask me to confirm, and I got rid of that picture. So I will scoot down some more. This is where my flash blew out. I'm going to end up having to redo all those pictures, but I gave it a shot. Oh gosh, those are two blown pictures. Alright, I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to hold down the control button and select this. Okay, so both of those are just awful. Now I'm going to right click and delete, and that will get rid of both of those blown pictures. So you can see that I'm actually doing some editing here also from these thumbnails. Now let me point out something to you that you will run into this over and over again. You will get out of order. You will end up taking a picture, either having forgotten to take a picture of the lot number sticker first, or you will discover that you've done something out of order, or you will discover that you took some pictures with a lot number and then you took the very next lot with the same lot number sticker, and you're going to have to make an adjustment. What I always do, and what you need to do for yourself, is take a picture of your hand. When you see a picture of your hand, you realize that, hey, something went wrong and I've got to pay close attention right in here. And I believe, if I remember correctly from yesterday, what happened here is I got out of order because I went ahead and put sticker numbers on a bunch of lots at once, and I got out of order. So I took a picture of my hand just to let me know that the next lot is not going to be in order, and I'm paying attention. That's what taking that picture of your hand does. Okay, look at there, I did it again. Oh, I know what I did here. I knew that first set of pictures for this was so bad that I would need to redo them, so I took a picture of my hand and I went back and redid a couple of lots. I took those pictures off the wall and put them on the floor, and I'm still going to have to redo some. But anyway, I'd also take another picture of my hand, by the way, when I'm finished with that lot that is out of order. So take a picture of the hand first to know that you got to start paying attention, and when you're done, you take another picture of your hand, and so on. Alright, well, my camera, because it always puts everything in the correct orientation, did not have any pictures that mattered laying on their side. If it had, and this is very important, what we're looking at right now is the stock Windows 10 picture viewer, okay? If I were to right click on this picture and then select rotate right to change it, this would not save in a way that our auction system will recognize. So this picture would still be wrong once it gets online, even though it looks correct in the Windows 10 picture viewer. And I'm going to put that back because I will forget if I don't do it now. So I have my computer set up to use the old Windows photo viewer. Okay, now you may need to ask me how to do this. This is Windows computer stuff. I'm not going to do it right now, but you need to use the old, like Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows photo viewer, and have that associated with your JPEG file, so that when you double click on a picture in the normal Windows 10 folder, it will open up in the Windows photo viewer. And the reason why is, if I rotate this picture in Windows Photo Viewer and then move onward to the next photo, that photo will be read in that orientation by our bidding system. Okay? Same thing, I want to turn it back or I'll forget. So, if you need information on how to do that, get in touch with me, or I may do another video at some point. It should show just how to do that. So, alright, now I've got an output folder. I've been through it. I've gotten rid of the completely blown pictures. I've deleted out some stuff I didn't need, and I checked to make sure that the orientation on all these pictures is correct. Another way to do this, by the way, and sometimes I do it this way to get a better view of the pictures, it's just slower, is to go ahead and open up one and go to Windows Photo Viewer and then use my arrow keys to quickly run through the pictures like so. That way, if one is blown, because it's a little bit larger on your screen and there are no other pictures around it, sometimes it's a little easier to see it that way. But the fastest way is to look at thumbnails. Remember, I do set it to the extra large icons, but that allows me to see, 6 pictures or so at a time. Alright, so now we got to rename these bad boys. And the way that I am going to do that is to reduce my view down to large icons. I need to get this out of the picture. And I'm going to reshape this window so that it is much smaller and off to one side of my screen. I usually put mine off to the left-hand side of the screen. Now we'll go back up to the top of that folder. And what we have to do now is rename all of these pictures. Every single one of these picture files has to be renamed so that it represents the lot that it goes with and which number in the order it goes with. So I want to go back to photoscape. I've actually got 2 instances open, and that's a problem, so I'm going to close one of those. Alright, now we're back in photoscape, and what I'm going to do is, and this is the window that I had been working with on another auction. I guess I closed the wrong one, oh well. We're going to go to this list up here, off to the far left, and hit photoscape, which will take us back to this screen right here. My dog is going crazy with the dog food. Okay, so we're going to select rename right here. Okay, I'm going to select that, and this window will pop up. I'm going to drag this window off to the right, and now I'm going to go up here and minimize, not close, because if you hit X, it's going to get rid of this and you'll have to start over. We're going to minimize this window so that what I have on my screen now is a renaming window from Photoscape, and then a Windows folder that has the pictures that we just took after they have been corrected. Make sure that you are not in this folder, which is the original photos. Make sure that you're renaming the photos in the output folder, which are the smaller pictures, which you will deliver to me. So here's how we rename them. You must select the first picture in this lot first, and I am going to hit the Shift key and then my arrow keys to highlight just the pictures that are in that lot. Okay? You must grab the first picture. You can't grab any of these other pictures to drag them across, because if you do, the one that you grab will be the first picture that it renames, and your photos will be out of order. So I'm going to grab the first picture in 1204, and I'm going to drag these across to my Photoscape renaming window. Now, you don't have to look at this every time, but see 70, 72, 73, 74, 75, 70, 72, 73, 74, 75. What I did by grabbing that first one and highlighting it first is made sure that when I drug them across, they are in order over here. File naming. This has to be set as a number. Okay, and yours may not be this way the very first time you try it, but what we got to do is make this window right here number, and this prefix is going to be the lot number, and there must be a dash right here. Okay, there has to be a dash right there, or Sam is not going to be able to read it. Separator, none. We don't want one. We don't want anything in this box. We don't want anything in date or time. We don't want anything in this box. But what you do want is a starting number of 1, and you want 2 digits in the box right below it. So starting number 1 and 2 digits. Okay? So I've got these files loaded over into my renaming window. I have the lot number with the dash afterwards right here, 1204. Number, all these blank, 1 and 2 digits. I'm going to convert them. It'll ask you, do you want to do it? You'll hit yes. And when you see the completed button, you'll hit OK. Now let's look back over here. All of those pictures for that lot are renamed 120401.jpg, 120402, 120403, 120404, 120405, and 120406. Alright? So, let's rename the pictures for the next lot. 1205, see it in the thumbnail? That means the very next picture you'll start by highlighting. I'm going to use the Shift key and the arrow keys to go all the way up until I see 1206. So I've got all those highlighted. I'm going to grab the very first photo, drag it across. I'm going to jump down here, click your mouse, back up 1, and put 5 for lot number 1205. None of this stuff you'll ever have to pay attention to again. You see up here the new file name is going to be 01, 02, 03, 04, 05 with a dash in the middle and the lot number up front. All of them will be .jpg. Convert. Yes and OK. Now 1205 has been renamed. Now here's what happens as you rename these pictures in this folder. You're not renaming the pictures of the lot numbers. So those guys are going to start bunching up, which actually makes it easier to find the next lot pictures. So there's 1206, over, here, 6, I want to hit the delete key, so we're 1206 dash, convert, yes, okay, now 1207, drag them over, select down here, back 1, hit 7, convert, yes, and okay. I want to move down just a little bit, 1208, run it across, back up 1 because it went too far, grab the first one, 1208, convert, yes, okay. Every single picture has to be done this way. Okay, 1209, drag them across, hit right here, back up 1, hit 9, convert, yes, and okay. 1210, run across, drag them across, make that a 10, delete the 09, convert, yes, okay. I'm actually using a touchpad on my laptop instead of the roller ball that I usually use, but you can get pretty dang fast at this, and it won't be anything like what you're watching here in terms of speed. Once you've done it for a while, you'll get pretty dang quick at it, and it won't take this long. Alright, so I've done the first view. We're not going to do every one of those like that, but what I want you to see is we have all the picture files renamed. So they are crushed. They're crunched. They're made smaller. They're in the correct orientation. Any light editing's been done, and they've been renamed. Now I can use these photos in the system. I can do my part. So the next video is going to be on how are you going to get these pictures from your computer to me. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this video off. I'm going to finish renaming these pictures, and then I'm going to show you how to use Dropbox to get these pictures to me in the next video.